Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring
bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
It's Friday, October 27, 2023. Coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. Ooh, Kentucky's Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who's running for governor, he is, mad, upset, angry, hot under the collar with Black Voters Matter because of a radio ad they dropped calling him Uncle Daniel Cameron. We'll talk with Cliff Albright, co-founder of Black Voters Matter, about the condemnation of Uncle Daniel Cameron. Also, we'll examine why mobilizing the black vote post-Obama has been difficult. The director of the Black Voter Project will explain what he's finding in his latest research. The attack on voter rights continues. Dr. Wes Bellamy, the Chair of Advocacy at 100 Black Men of America, will discuss why we must keep fighting for our voices to be heard and what must be done to specifically mobilize black men. A Pennsylvania judge reinstates the murder charges against a former cop who shot a motorist in Philadelphia within seconds of arriving on the scene. That and more will break down. It is time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Streaming live with the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's Uncle Roro, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General of Kentucky, who is the Republican gubernatorial candidate, is not happy at all with Black Voters Matter because of this radio ad.
What's up, Kentucky? It's election time, and all skin folks ain't kin folk. Over the past few years, we've taken to the streets to demand racial justice, to demand health care, and the right to make decisions about our body. And now Uncle Daniel Cameron is threatening to take us backwards. The same man who refused to seek justice for Breonna Taylor now wants to run our whole state. We can't let that happen. We won't let that happen. On November 7th, vote Andy Beshear for governor.
Paid for by Black Voters Matter Action PAC, which is responsible for the content of the...
Lord. Well, Daniel dropped this tweet here. Go ahead and pull it up. For years, I've been called every racist name in the book for supporting President Trump and conservative values. Andy Beshear always looks the other way and remains silent even today. He upset, y'all. Joining me now from Atlanta is Cliff Albright, the co-founder of Black Voters Matter. They dropped that ad. First of all, they're calling y'all Soros back. That's always the phrase they use to try to tie anyone to George Soros, anything that he does. So, Cliff, why did y'all drop this ad and use that language against upset Daniel?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Roland. I mean, we dropped it very simply, right? Because it's the truth. You know, everything that we mentioned in the ad, he hasn't attacked the accuracy of the ad at all. Did you or did you not let go and refuse to charge the people, the police officers that killed Breonna Taylor? So you don't want to talk about the substance of the ad. He want to talk about the Uncle Daniel Cameron. And technically, we didn't call him Uncle Tom, right? That to do so actually would probably be more of an insult to the actual Uncle Tom, but that's a whole nother story. But, you know, the uncle could have been anything. It could have been Uncle Ruckus. It could have been Uncle, like, you know, we call Maxine, Congresswoman Maxine, auntie. Maybe we was using it affectionately. The fact of the matter is, as soon as he heard it, he heard Uncle Tom, right? You know what we say, Roland, hit dog will holler. He's hollering mighty loud. He saw himself in an Uncle Tom attack. But at the end of the day, what it's about is basically just reminding our folks that this is the same man who's been against our community, not even just in terms of the Breonna case, the Breonna Taylor case, right? Say her name, but everything else. Look at what he stands for. Look at his attacks against healthcare and trying to peel back the Medicaid expansion that took place in the state. That is a direct attack against the health of Black communities. Look at his attack, unsolicited attack against affirmative action, where after the Supreme Court had their affirmative action case, which dealt only with education, here comes Daniel signing a letter with a bunch of other attorney generals, basically warning companies that they need to end their affirmative action hiring policies. Ain't nobody asked him to send a letter. That wasn't even what the Supreme Court decided. He just went and took it upon himself to go out and pursue such a letter, which again directs our communities, attacks our jobs, attacks our wages, attacks our families. So it's not even just his stance on the Breonna Taylor case and police accountability. It's issue after issue after issue where he has shown himself to be just as much of a threat to the Black community as the staunchest white supremacist. You don't have to be white to pursue and reinforce white supremacist policies. As we said in the ad, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
And you laid out all of those particular issues. And when we talk about Breonna Taylor, first of all, the federal trial begins on Monday for one of the officers who was involved in that. It was Daniel Cameron who, I found nothing. But it's amazing how the feds found stuff and have already gotten guilty pleas, but he found nothing and did nothing.
Right, and he hides around, you know, in every interview, anytime he's asked about it, he'll say, well, all I can do is uphold the law and follow the law, and, you know, my hands were tied, you know, there was nothing I can do. And we know that that's not true. We know that that is gaslighting to the highest degree. We know that there are all types of violations that could have been filed, just as the Department of Justice is currently doing so against those who killed Breonna, who murdered Breonna. He could have done that. Other attorney generals were able to do the same. Keith Ellison in Minnesota was able to do the same. I mean, so there have been others at the state level, at the county level, and at all levels have found it somehow within the law to enforce when police officers kill a Black person. To say that there was nothing he could do is basically, he's repeating Judge Taney's line from the Dred Scott case, where he's basically saying that a Black man or woman sitting in her own apartment, sleeping in her own apartment, has no rights which a white man or a white police officer is bound to respect. Again, when we have an attorney general and a candidate for governor that takes that kind of a position, that is a threat to our entire community. And we say it again, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
When we talk, and again, I think what you have here is you have Cameron not wanting to tick off police unions, wanting to kiss up to them, and that's what you're dealing with here.
Exactly. I mean, he's cast his lot. Look, he decided a long time ago which team he was going to be on, and whether that's the side of the police unions or whether that's the side of Mitch McConnell. I mean, he takes some amount of pride, and Mitch McConnell takes some amount of pride in calling him like one of his proteges, right? And so, he's picked his side, and his side is very much the side of anti-blackness. His side is very much the side that's against our safety, that's against our health, that's against our economic well-being, that's against our education, that's against our maternal health. On all these issues, he's picked the wrong side.
And I mean, look, and this is a perfect example of, we use the phrase, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. The reality is the white Democratic governor of Kentucky has made it clear he restored the voting rights of formerly incarcerated. He has been clear where he stands on Medicaid expansion, which impacts African Americans. He's made it clear where he stands on voting rights. Here's a perfect example of a white Democrat who, frankly, is aligned more with black voters than black Daniel Cameron, Republican.
Exactly. And that's why we always say, you know it, Roland, we always say that, we're all about us, right? The back of our shirts say it's about us. We focus on our issues. It's not about glorifying any particular candidate, and nor is it about demonizing another candidate, even a candidate that we don't like or may disagree with, right? But it's about what are the issues that different candidates stand for. And at the end of the day, Andy Beshear is head and shoulders just in a different league when it comes to, his position on issues that are of concern to our community, whether it's restoration of voting rights or voting rights even more writ large, or whether it's police accountability, or whether it's health care or reproductive justice. On all these issues, issues that impact our community, there is a fundamental difference. And so any day, it's funny because people think that, people like to accuse us of, Roland, they say, oh, you only voted for Obama for 90-something% because he's black, and y'all are just all about race, and that's racist. And then when we come out an ad criticizing a black candidate, they say, oh, that's racist. Well, which one is it? Are we always guided by race and we'll vote for anybody black no matter what? Or is it that, in fact, that we are actually guided by the stances on our issues? And if Andy Beshear or any other white Democrat is going to be better on the issues than a black Republican on our issues, then we're always going to fall on the side of our issues at the end of the day.
And that's what it boils down to. In black folks in Kentucky, it's abundantly clear that Daniel Cameron has not been on the right side of the issues that black folks care about.
It's abundantly clear, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. Because you might have some folks that don't know that it's that clear, right? Maybe they don't know about all these issues. Maybe they know about the Breonna Taylor, but maybe they get confused when he gaslights us and he says, well, I did everything that I can do, right? Or maybe they don't know about his position on healthcare, or maybe they don't know about his anti-LGBT positions, or any of the other positions. He's got a thing on the Attorney General's website, Roland, not his campaign website, the Attorney General's website, that says that one of his top priorities, you go to the website right now, pull it up, one of his top priorities is to stop wokeness. You are the Attorney General of a state talking about that your priority is to stop wokeness. You sound like DeSantis, and we don't need another DeSantis in the state of Kentucky any more than we need him in Florida or any place else.
And here's the other deal. He is standing foursquare with Donald Trump, and we damn sure are not. And so if he wants Trump back in office, that absolutely is not beneficial to black people.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about that. Thanks, Roland, for bringing that back up. I didn't even mention that. Yeah, he stands squarely with Trump. He says Trump is good for the country. Even when asked specifically, you can listen to interviews when he's been asked specifically and repeatedly, because evidently the person doing the interview just couldn't really believe what they were hearing, where they asked him about specific things that he has said about the black community, about specific policies, about specific things that he said about predominantly black or African descent countries, right? And every case, all Cameron would fall back on is, I believe he's best for us. I believe his values are best for us. Like, why he would use Donald Trump and values in the same sentence, I don't even understand that. And so at the end of the day, no, we don't need somebody who even now, knowing all that we know about not just his horrible policies as a twice impeached president, but knowing all we know about the insurrection, about the coup that he tried to do, even now, knowing all this, he still stands squarely with him. He is a threat not just to our community, he's a threat to this entire country. We cannot have him. It's bad enough that he's in the attorney general position. We definitely can't have him in the governor's mansion, not in any state.
Not only that, I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm going on his website, and and these are sort of the broad. Go to my iPad, please. He's got better schools. Come on, guys. Come on, let's go. Better schools, strong economy. And then look at them. Work requirements for welfare. First of all, we already have those things. Get income tax to zero. Well, then how are you going to pay for stuff in the state? Then he's got safe streets, and then that's it. Like that's it. That's all. So right. Safe streets, strong economy, better schools. That's y'all. That's all that's on the website. Ain't nothing else.
That's right.
That's kind of limiting.
Right. It's very limiting, and it's the traditional. It sounds like Mitch McConnell, right? It sounds like a little Mitch McConnell clone. You want zero income taxes, which is basically what Mitch did, and the Republicans did with that big tax break that they gave to the wealthiest in the country. When they say that they want a tax break, they're not talking about regular folk. They're not talking about our folks that are struggling every day. They're talking about their friends, the big wealthy people, right? The big elite. And giving them a tax cut, which then does what? It puts all the rest of us in even more economic stress, right? And so you look at that website, and those things that he has on there are the usual thing. We want to give our friends a tax cut. We're gonna scare you to death about crime, so we can talk about safe streets, right? Which just means more police, more profiling, right? More black folks getting shot. And then he's got the schools thing on there, which we know is really just code for the privatization that they're trying to do to our school systems all across the country. That's the usual stuff. That's just Mitch McConnell light. That's Donald Trump light. And we don't need that. Again, it is rooted in anti-blackness. It is a threat to our community. It's a threat to the entire state of Kentucky. It's a threat to the entire country if we allow him to elevate. And just real talk, it would set our movement back to allow the person who, next to the police officers who killed Breonna Taylor, who killed Brother George Floyd, next to them, the face of this anti-blackness of that period is Daniel Cameron, the leading face that was most staunchly saying, no, we're not gonna prosecute these police officers. To allow this person, after we were in the streets for months talking about how our lives matter, talking about police accountability, to allow this person to rise to the level of governor would really be a setback. So it would be dangerous. It's dangerous for our community. It's dangerous for our families, but it's dangerous for this entire country and our movement.
So I just want to show folks again. Go to my computer, please. So this is the plan of Daniel Cameron, his vision for Kentucky. It's three things: better schools, strong economy, safe streets. This is the issues and priority of Andy Beshear. Early learning and child care, fiscal responsibility and transparency, jobs and economic development, expanding high-speed internet infrastructure, boosting Kentucky's signature industries, expanding access and reliability of clean drinking water, expanding healthcare access and affordability, prioritizing public education, public safety, fighting inflation, investing in higher education and workforce development, rebuilding Kentucky after disaster, supporting our military, revitalizing Appalachian Kentucky and leadership of the Appalachian Regional Commission, supporting seniors and the most vulnerable, protecting Kentucky families, dealing with the opioid addiction, promoting Kentucky values and the golden rule, protecting your rights. Sounds to me like there's a lot more broader plan here. In fact, right here, he has in here vetoed a bill creating additional obstacles to voting. Daniel Cameron, he sided with that particular bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people sometimes, some of the critics of Black Voters Matter. And let me be clear: today I'm speaking on behalf of our PAC side, Black Voters Matter Action PAC. That's who actually did the ad, as you hear in the disclaimer. And sometimes we get accused of, oh, y'all just for any Democrat or whatever. And no. We criticize Democrats. We criticize President Biden when he wasn't doing enough on voting rights. We criticize other moderate Democrats. We've been asked to get involved in races in some states for some candidates where we take a look at the candidate. We just we can't do that. It's not consistent with our issues, with our values. We're not going to use our scarce resources. In this situation, we have absolutely no problem saying that there is a stark difference between the policies pursued by Governor Beshear and the policies and the track record, the dangerous track record of Uncle Daniel. And so, and I want to add this too. It's interesting, Roland. This, as you played, this was the radio version. They haven't even seen the video version of the ad. When he sees that, he's gonna really flip out, right? And so why is it that he's even paying so much attention to this ad? What he knows is if he really thought that he was going to get all the support that Mitch McConnell gets, that other white Republicans get, he wouldn't be paying attention to our little radio ad, right? But he's scared. He's scared because he's counting on digging into a certain amount of Black support. And when he hears an ad that criticizes his stance on our issues, the issues that our community cares about, that worries him. And so this ought to be a message to anybody watching this race that he is vulnerable, but it's going to take deeper work, more resources to reach Black folks so that we can get this message to them that, again, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, that we can't trust Uncle Daniel, and that we've got to come out and vote.
Indeed. Cliff Albright, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I can't wait to see the video.
It's coming, Roland. It's coming.
All right. Got to go to break. We come back. We'll talk to our panel about this and cover up more news of the day. Folks, you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button, y'all. We want to get at least 2,000 likes every day. It ain't that hard. Y'all love to comment. We'll just hit the like button. Also, support us in what we do. Your checks, money orders, with your contributions to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle is critically important for what we do. Send your check and money orders to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. And be sure, of course, to download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. You can watch our 24-hour streaming channel, folks, on various platforms, including Plex TV, Amazon News, Amazon Freevee, and Amazon Prime Video. We'll be right back.
I'm Dee Barnes, and next on The Frequency, we talk to award-winning screenwriter and director Chanel Dupree about her film, You Think You've Grown, the adultification of young Black girls. This is a conversation that all women can relate to.
This woman was like, oh my God, I went through this when I was a kid. She wore something, it was a maxi dress, but the way it fit on her body, this female teacher thought that she looked too grown and spun her around in front of a male teacher and said, do you think she looks grown, right?
Oh my God. So that's next time on The Frequency on the Black Star Network.
Don't you think it's time to get wealthy? I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show on the Black Star Network focuses on the things your financial advisor or bank isn't telling you. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network.
When you talk about Blackness and what happens in Black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause
too long have others spoken for us.
We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it.
This is about covering us.
Invest in Black-owned media.
Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks.
We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible.
Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.
I'm Marissa Mitchell, a news anchor at Fox 5 DC.
Hey, what's up? It's Tammy Roman, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, Michael Imhotep is the host of African History Network show out of Detroit. Also, Matt Manning, civil rights attorney out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Dr. Amakongo Dabinga Sr., professorial lecturer, School of International Service, American University out of D.C. I'll start with you, Amakongo. Boy, Daniel Cameron, he is not happy at all.
And it is great to see. And the way Cliff talked about it could have meant any Uncle Ruckus or just any that had me going. But he should be concerned because, when you meet people like Tamika Palmer, the mother of Breonna, and you see the activism, we are showing, and Cliff is showing, and all of the other groups on the ground are showing that we have not forgotten Kentucky. And people always have this mentality that when it comes to our type of activism and things that we do, that just give it some time, it's just going to blow over. We have shown that we're going hard in Kentucky. And as you've always said, Roland, on this show, you got to support organizations on the ground. I didn't hear any mention in your entire conversation about anything that the DNC was doing or partnerships with the DNC. Taking it right to the people is where we need to be devoting our resources. And Cameron should be concerned because he is still identifying of somebody who is a criminal, who is charged, and how many different trials. He wants to ride with him and go down with him. Well, what is Trump really going to do for him at this point? Now, I can understand if you want to enjoy the support of a Mitch McConnell down there in Kentucky, but to continually tie yourself to a man who's multiply indicted and facing all of these different charges, it's a losing battle. But also what we are doing on the ground is going to be more important than anything they can do, because I really feel like Kentucky, especially with Beshear running for re-election, he's not some random candidate, and looking at that website and just showing a difference in policies, it puts us in really solid footing. And so I'm optimistic, but I'm optimistic because of what people like Cliff and all of the other organizations are doing, more so than I am in what the DNC or Biden are doing to help us get Beshear reelected.
I mean, Michael, Cliff is correct. They didn't actually say in the promo he was an Uncle Tom. They just simply said Uncle Daniel.
Right. Yeah, it's a number of things here. No, they didn't say Uncle Tom, and Uncle Tom would be the incorrect word. That was actually Josiah Henson, who was a freedom fighter for Black people. Sambo would be the correct term for Daniel Cameron if they wanted to use that term, but they decided not to. I listened to the ad. The ad is not racist at all. What this is a hit dog that's hollering, who's trying to deflect from his record and doesn't want to stand on his record, doesn't want to have to defend his record. So then he wants to call a Black organization racist against him, but he continues to push policies that are in opposition to African Americans. Now, for the sake of accuracy, I don't support Daniel Cameron, don't support the majority of his policies, but I'm on his website right now, and I saw you talk about the better schools, strong economy, safe streets. You have to scroll down below that, and right before the video, he has a link. Click here to read Cameron's catch-up plan. So this is a 5-page catch-up plan, and then if you scroll down below the video, he has 2 more links that go to PDFs that explain his policies. Okay, now I don't agree with his policies, but just for the sake of accuracy, scroll down below those 3 bullet points. And then the other thing is, and now I've been on his website, looking at his website. The other thing, and I don't know how deep you want to get into this, Roland, but he has his wife on the website as well. And it says, meet Mackenzie. And then it talks about moms for Daniel Cameron, things like this as well. And, it's obvious he's married to a white woman too. Okay, so once again, Now she's on the website. They're talking about Meet McKinsey. They're talking about Moms from McKinsey, things like this. So when you have anti-Black behavior and an anti-Black mentality, and you support policies that are against African Americans, that can spread to numerous aspects of your life. And we unfortunately see this manifest here. Hopefully he's defeated.
First, again, I don't give a damn who he's married to. I don't give a damn who he's married to. That's irrelevant to me. What I'm looking at is, and yeah, you could talk about clicking even further, but the reality is, I did click, and he only got three issues on here. That's all he's got. Okay, you can go down below. I clicked through it, and the bottom line. Yeah, he's still got 3. Okay, in education, he got sub-points under education, but that's it. At the end of the day, what he's doing, Matt, is a typical Republican bumper sticker campaign. And that's what it boils down to. And so I keep the focus on him, not his wife. That's irrelevant to me. I'm looking at where he stands on issues that Black people care about. And the reality is, on the issues, Andy Beshear is better on the issues that Black folks care about than Daniel Cameron.
Absolutely. And the problem here is the same kind of cognitive dissonance that we see all the time, where particularly Black conservatives try to play it both ways, right? Meaning they try to say, I'm Black, so when it comes to us and it's advantageous for me to be Black and play this Black role, I try to have whatever proximity to Blackness I can. But the rest of the time, I want you to recognize me as the one that got away from the plantation. We hear that kind of rhetoric all the time, where Black conservatives are trying to make it exceedingly clear that they're not a part of whatever they believe are Black issues or issues that are seen to be not, consonant with the conservative ideal. And that's exactly what Daniel Cameron has done. And I like that this ad has been advanced the way that it has, because a lot of times, like Cliff said, I think masterfully, Black people get accused of being monolithic, right? Accused of not being discerning in choosing their political representatives and looking at the actual issues rather than looking at the person's skin. And this is a good example of saying you are not actually with us. No matter how you might try to do the song and dance where you think it helps you to be aligned with us, you choose against us all the time. And that's inherent in his policies. So I think that comparison of the policies is important. And I think that, it is not only a bumper sticker campaign, but even the idea of, quote, trying to stop wokeness. One of the problems I see with Cameron and a lot of other politicians is that they're really involved in things that should have no bearing on what their job is. If you're the attorney general or potentially the governor, there are certain spheres of influence you should have that don't necessarily concern certain social issues. But where you do have the influence, i.e. you're the attorney general, and you can't find the evidence in your investigation that other law enforcement agencies have, then we have to ask why. And that's because you're acting in conformity with the ideology that is getting you where you want to go. And the reality with Black conservatives is they very often play that tokenism role, and where it's helpful to them, they play it up. So you can't be surprised that on the back end, we call you out for you not being who you claim to be, and that's one of us, because we see how you act. And that is demonstrative of who you truly are.
Yep. It's what you do is not what you say. That's what it boils down to. All right, hold tight 1 second. We come back. We're going to talk about, again, recent polls that show where Black voters are. We're seeing polling data shows that African Americans less identifying as Democrats, not actually new information. That's been the case really the last several election cycles. But really, what is going to need to happen to turn Black folks out in significant ways in next year's election? We'll discuss that coming up next. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
Next on the Black Table with me, Craig Carr. Immigrants lured off Texas streets and shipped to places like Martha's Vineyard and Washington, D.C. Believe it or not, we've seen it all before.
You people in the North, you're so sympathetic to Black people, you take them.
60 years ago, they called it the reverse freedom rides. Back then, Southern governors shipped Black people north with the false promise of jobs and a better life. It's a part of a well-known playbook being brought back to life. So what's next? That's next on the Black Table, a conversation with Dr. Gerald Horne about this issue of the reverse freedom rides, right here on the Black Star Network.
hatred on the streets. A horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol, we've seen shooting.
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
Yo, it's your man Dion Cole from Blackish, and you watch
Roland Martin, Unfiltered.
All right, folks, the recent Louisiana primary shows black folks are simply not showing up at the polls like they did when Barack Obama ran for president in 2008. That's no shock. The reality is many people expected that. But if you look at 2010, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2022, you've seen that number go down. My next guest has been researching why mobilizing black voter post-Obama has been so difficult. Joining me from Sacramento, California is Christopher Tyler, the director of the Black Voter Project and co-founder of Black Insights Research. Victor, glad to have you on the show. What's the top points of your research?
So, as you mentioned, it's no surprise black turnout is down and has been down since 2012. I have a slide that shows really the drop in voter turnout over the last 10 years now it's been. So from 2012 to 2016, we've seen differences in upwards of 6% voter turnout nationally, and even larger differences across some of the most important battleground states. And those differences continue to persist from 2016 to 2020. And this comes from data from the Center for American Progress, suggesting that there's a ways to go to get black folk out to the polls at the same rates as they were during the Obama administration, and the Democrats are falling behind there. Another slide that I brought shows that this coming election in 2024, there are some significant gains to be made across congressional districts now. Looking at Democrats regaining the House here, there are significant districts with large percent African American that are swing districts, right? And here you see in North Carolina, New York, Ohio, districts that are going to go, suggested to go one way or another, Democrat or Republican, just by a few points here. And then we look at Louisiana, right, which we were just talking about, another swing district there that's over 30% black. So there's a lot that can be done, but the Democrats really aren't doing what needs to be done or haven't in the last decade or so. The research that I've conducted is looking at ways to get Democrats out to the polls, one of which being to really identify the threats to democracy, the threats to racial progress. In this case, it's going to be Donald Trump. It's going to be the MAGA Republicans. It might even be some of these institutions that have now seemed to turn against racial progress in the black community, specifically the Supreme Court, possibly even police, institutions of law enforcement. And my research suggests that identifying these institutions as a threat to the community is one of the most significant ways to get black folks to care about politics, to feel it's important to turn out to politics, and to get out there and vote.
So, again, if you begin to unpack this here, and I'm going to throw this out, and this is obviously going to tick off some of our people, but they'll get the hell over it. And I've been saying this for a very long time here. When Obama ran in 2008, he did not need the political infrastructure that had been in place in the Democratic Party since Reverend Jackson's run in 84 and 88. In 1988, Reverend Jackson, at his insistence, with the installation of Ron Brown as DNC chair, with the work of the late Dr. Ron Walters, with the work of Harold Ickes and others, they actually created an infrastructure that was in place, a funding infrastructure, you name it. When Obama runs, he doesn't need it. You had where David Axelrod determined that what they did need to spend money on black infrastructure, black-owned media, things along those lines, because frankly, they already had the votes. Same thing happened in 2012. We saw the dismantling of also the DNC's political infrastructure with Obama for America, which then was created. And so you sort of had the DNC that was gutted, and then you had this this entity that he controlled. I kept saying then, hey y'all, he only gonna be there 8 years. It's gonna be folks running after that. And ever since he left in 2017, they have been trying to repair all of the damage that was caused by completely saying, we don't need that infrastructure. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. The Democrats really did take advantage of and kind of take for granted the turnout that they got from black voters during the Obama administration. There's a long line of literature that suggests the first of any when it comes to political representation creates extreme levels of enthusiasm. The hope and change sort of mantra played on that, and black folk turned out in droves at historic rates to elect Barack Obama. Research showing in 2012, right, black turnout for the first time in American history since we started recording turnout in the 1940s and 50s surpassed white turnout levels as people came out to vote for Obama. And so I think it was sort of taken for granted that this American president changed the way that the political spectrum looked with black turnout at such high levels in states like North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio, Michigan, these swing states that have significant black populations but aren't overwhelmingly black, went Democrat rather easily along with the high turnout rates in general across the country. We fast forward to 2016, 2020, this excitement, especially among the black community, had tapered off and fallen off. And the Democrats were no longer sort of riding this wave of historic black turnout, but as you mentioned, had not yet decided to reinvest and reinvigorate their Democratic machine in ways that were needed, right? And we see statewide levels such as Abrams' campaign working to do this in places such as Georgia, but on a national scale and in as many battleground states as are needed to maintain the Obama coalition from 2008 and 2012 was nowhere to be found. And it's really not going to be found again, because who knows when we're going to have another candidate that we can consider a first, maybe possibly a black woman candidate that will inspire the black community in similar ways.
But here's the deal, and I'll say this here. I have been very clear on this, and again, I've been saying this for years. And that is, if anybody who's black running, they cannot use the exact same playbook that Obama used. And here's what I mean by that. There was a 9-point gap between black men and black women in Obama's re-election with Romney in 2012. There was some dissatisfaction there. Whether we want to own it or not, there were a lot of people who felt that more could have been done. And so part of the issue that Democrats have that black candidates are going to have to deal with, and again, I believe that Senator Cory Booker and Senator Kamala Harris tried to use the Obama playbook when they ran for president in 2020. That sucker didn't work. It didn't work. And so guess what? It's been used one time. It ain't going to work again. Black voters are going to be making demands of any black candidate because they're going to say, hey, we see how we voted for Obama. That's just a fact. And so I think that people have to understand the newness, the first time seeing the first black family, blah, blah, blah. As I kept saying, hey, guess what? We stayed at the inauguration parade for 8 years. Everybody else left, and they actually got to work. And so Democrats cannot sit around and go, hey, where's the second black hope, or turn them out. what has to happen here, and I've been very clear on this, and a lot of other people get mad when I say it on these mainstream media shows, Christopher, and I'm gonna talk slowly when I say this. The fundamental problem with the Democratic Party today is white media consultants refuse to listen to black people, listen to black consultants, listen to black pollsters, refuse to put the resources in those places early, and then they expect black people to come save their asses come mid to late October.
I mean, you said it perfectly. I think one of the most recent sort of research experiments we put together speaks to this. We ran what's called a conjoint experiment on a national poll of black folk. This is something that I don't know if has ever been done before, where we asked respondents, this is only black respondents, to select between two candidates as we varied the different characteristics of those candidates. And so if the last slide, I brought some slides, the last slide could be put up. What we found is that of those candidates, here are sort of the characteristics that were shown to be the most important when it came to selecting a candidate for black respondents on a national poll, right? And so, of course, they wanted a black person, wanted a female candidate, wanted someone who was middle-aged, around 85, with 8 years of experience in politics, picked someone who's a state legislator compared to some other occupations, was important that someone was an ally of the Black Lives Matter movement, actually preferred someone endorsed by Sanders rather than endorsed by Biden, and preferred someone who was a veteran. And so as you see on the left side here of the findings, right, the most important factors here when deciding between potential candidates was someone's support for Black Lives Matter, someone's race, and someone's years in politics. And so trying to build that perfect candidate is going to be a really hard sell, and it's going to be really difficult for Democrats to find someone who fits that same mold, if not impossible, as you mentioned, right? And so I'm really encouraging through my research other ways to look at turning black folk out. And one of the most important factors, aside from sort of this Obama factor, this great hope factor, is actually threat, and looking at how perceptions of threat can push people to the polls in lieu of this sort of magical candidate that creates the same inspiration that we saw once during the Obama administration.
Well, first of all, the data of Terrence Woodbury, the pollster, actually bolsters that in terms of what he says is that when they run their focus groups, when black people are told that your vote can make the difference between winning and losing, that it actually works. His data also says that there are certain phrases you cannot use for younger black voters today. When a younger black voter hears voter suppression, they automatically go back to the 1960s. That's what they think. He said, but when you are specific by saying they are trying to shut down our early voting locations, they're trying to get rid of ballot drop boxes, they're trying to stop us from voting absentee balloting, he said that resonates much differently. But I want to stay on this whole point about the white consultants because we have experience with that. We have experience when we tried to put in our plans in 2016, 2020, and the white consultants wanted to give us a pittance of the money. And in fact, what happened in 2020, as opposed to giving us advertising money in the Warnock and Ossoff runoff, this is the DSCC, controlled by Senator Chuck Schumer, they actually gave us money from the celebrity influencer budget. And so we were like, I'm sorry. And other African Americans said, wait a minute, Roland has a media company. This is a media company. This is not a celebrity influencer. But what happens, if people need to understand the nuts and bolts, those white consultants, especially the media people, they make their money off of TV buys. And so they don't want that money to go in a ground game and non-television because that's less money goes in their pockets. And when the election is over and the candidate loses, they just go on to the next campaign to make more millions. And so there has to be a true reckoning, I believe, not just, and this is all the mistake that people keep making. What Jamie doing? People don't realize today the DNC does not take in a lot of money. The reality today with super PACs and things along those lines, DSC is taking in less money. So he's not controlling this apparatus. We're talking about the Democratic National Committee, the Democratic Governors Association, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. We're talking about American Priorities, all of those PACs. We're talking Emily's List. We're talking the environmental lobby. We're talking all of these groups where the billions are being spent. The fact of the matter is, very few of them, including the pro-choice folks, a lot of them are not making black folks a primary priority and putting the resources behind it. They're paying lip service, and that's why you see the turnout that you're seeing.
I agree. I think that making black folks a priority in more than just sort of this ancillary spending is gonna have to take place for Democrats to have the same wins and gains that they expect or that they want, and that we saw during 2008, 2012 elections and the midterms there between. When you talked about some of these other pollsters and some of the findings they have, and as their work sometimes falls back into these traditional tropes of, well, if we just tell people what the Democrats are doing and we explain to them that the Democrats are working to their benefit, they will turn out and vote. And there has been some evidence that that's the case. But when we conducted our own focus groups, we found that especially among low propensity voters or the black voters that are the hardest to turn out, they have very little faith in the Democratic Party at all. They hardly recognize Democratic leaders, even black Democratic leaders, and have low levels of political information. But the one topic that resonates the most with them is the Republicans, is Trump, is MAGA, is the threat that the GOP has. This is what got them out of their chairs, got them talking, got them interested in politics again. And so, from my own research and from the research that I've done with my firms and with my polling project, we're really pushing away from sort of these traditional, well, we just have to sell people on the Democratic Party right now, especially for black folk. That's not shown to be productive.
No.
We have to push people towards, okay, if you don't vote, if you don't turn out and vote and specifically vote for Democrats, the outcome that Republicans are going to put in place, something that we're kind of seeing in Louisiana after the recent election there, is going to be far, far worse than you ever imagined.
Right, and that's what I call connecting the dots. And I try to spend a lot of time walking people through policy decisions. This is what the policies are going to look like if a Republican House is in charge, a Senate, or in the Oval Office compared to when there's a Democrat. And again, I tell people, I don't fall in love with candidates. I fall in love with policies. And I'm looking at what is the policy outcome. And also, I can't look at a singular policy. Look, there are some people out there, they only vote based upon the issue of abortion, whether you're anti-abortion, whether you are pro-choice. Not me. I got to look at a multitude of issues because in terms of how I examine. I'm going to go to a break. We're going to come back and pick up on this because there's something else that I want to get at that people need to understand when we start talking about people who self-identify, because that's part of the conversation as well. There are a lot of black people, especially younger black people, 50 and under, really, especially 45 and under, who are not self-identifying as Democrat. And so what must Democrats do? They got to change how they target black voters, and that one size fit all, that sucker don't work anymore. So we'll discuss that next right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for a Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
I'm Faraji Muhammad, live from LA. And this is The Culture. The Culture is a two-way conversation. You and me. We talk about the stories, politics, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So join our community every day at 3 p.m. Eastern and let your voice be heard. Hey, We're all in this together. So let's talk about it and see what kind of trouble we can get into. It's The Culture, weekdays at 3, only on the Black Star Network.
I'm Dee Barnes, and next on The Frequency, we talk to award-winning screenwriter and director Chanel Dupree about her film, You Think You've Grown, the adultification of young Black girls. This is a conversation that all women can relate to.
This woman was like, oh my God, you know, I went through this when I was a kid. She wore something, it was a maxi dress, but the way it fit on her body, this female teacher thought that she looked too grown and spun her around in front of a male teacher and said, do you think she looks grown, right?
Oh my God. So that's next time on The Frequency on the Black Star Network.
Don't you think it's time to get wealthy? I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show on the Black Star Network focuses on the things your financial advisor or bank isn't telling you. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network.
Hello, I'm Paula J. Parker. Truly proud of the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder on Disney+. And you're watching Roland Martin, Unfiltered.
So I paid attention to the self-identification aspect of Black voters for the last 35 years. I began to see and hear it when I was in college. So I was at Texas A&M from 1987 to 1991. And there, through the conversations I was having with classmates, I was hearing how they were not self-identifying as Democrats, like our parents. And so that doesn't mean that they weren't voting Democrat or heavily leaning Democrat. They were not self-identifying. Well, in the past 35 years, that number has only grown. I saw some data yesterday in North Carolina. An increasing number of African Americans are now calling themselves independent as opposed to checking off Democrat. Christopher, the reason that is important is because when you start now examining demographics, meaning age groups, and you now start examining where a Black voter is in 2023 compared to a Black voter in 1983, the strategy has to change. What I mean by that is there has to be more micro-targeting. When Andrew Gillum, when he lost in Florida, governor, he lost by 30,000 votes. Exit polling data showed that 18% of Black women had voted for Ron DeSantis. Some people say, well, that was unreliable, the exit poll data, but here's what we knew. A lot of those Black women were voting based upon the opportunity scholarships that were in Florida for their children to go to different schools, in charter schools, school choice. That was an issue. We see that there are African Americans who are very much about, we ran to a woman in Georgia in 2022 when Warnock was in a runoff. And she said, listen, I'm a woman and the issue of Roe v. Wade is important. She said, but I ain't having no kids. She said, but I own a business. And so taxes is more important to me than Roe v. Wade. And so this was a Black woman. And so I think a part of this deal also is that these white Democratic strategists are going to have to wake up and realize that one size fit all don't work anymore. You're going to have apps micro-targeting to Black voters in a way that historically they've never had to do.
No, Roland, you're absolutely right. The conversations we've had about our research with Democratic campaigns and organizations boils down to the fact that in order to make this type of campaign strategy work, it's not going to be a one-glove-fits-all, and it's going to have to be targeted based on census tracts, based on neighborhoods, and you're going to have to put money into advertising that you traditionally wouldn't do or that these campaigns might not have been planning to do from the beginning. And in doing so, that's how you're going to get black voters to turn out at the numbers that we saw in 2008 and 2012. And that's really the only way to do it, because a lot of these campaigns are also worried that as they continue to push possibly some of these messages towards black voters, they're going to turn off other parts of the constituency. And that's really where they get hung up in what direction do we go, right? Do we continue to push forward with the same campaign strategies that we've been doing for the last decade, or do we try something new and actually try to target black voters and mobilize? But they always come back to this, well, we have limited resources. Well, we're not sure exactly how that's going to affect the total base. We're not sure exactly how that's going to affect all the voters. And it's exactly like you're saying. If there's not a very strategic, targeted campaign for black voters, not just based even on statewide scale, but on district and neighborhood scales, it's going to be very difficult to get black voters out at the rates that these campaigns need in order to win some of these close elections.
And before I go to my panel, this is very basic for Democrats. Okay, all those consultants could say whatever the hell they want to say. That's all cute. Here's what we know, and these are facts. The number one ranked group who vote Democrat are black women. The number two group, black men. That's 1 and 2. Now, in their minds, oh, well, we're going to get their votes. You might get the vote based upon percentage. The problem that we're talking about is turnout, the intensity of the vote. And what I have been saying on this show is that if black people turn out at 65, 70, and 75% of our capacity, we can sweep elections, but that ain't gonna happen if you do not have folks who are targeting them and putting the dollars behind them. Question for my panels. Matt Manning, you're first.
Yeah, so the question I had for you was particularly about political trust and alienation. I know one of the things that you've looked at in your data is that issue, is political trust. And that to me seems to be the seminal issue here, no matter how people identify as Republicans or Democrats. And so my question to you is really twofold. One, how do you compile that data in terms of, determining how trusting people are into the system or not? And secondly, what is your suggestion in terms of messaging, particularly for Democrats, on how people can have a greater trust, black people have a greater trust in the system and therefore a greater buy-in, particularly when it comes to things like nonpartisan races? Because a lot of times on the local level, your local city council person doesn't even declare a party, right? And they're the one who has the most immediate effect on your life in terms of filling the pothole at the end of the street. So how do y'all address the political trust and alienation issue in your data?
That's a great question. We've been looking at trust and alienation for probably about 10 years now, because we consider it also something essential to understanding black politics. When it comes to trust, we really break it down into what's called specific and diffuse trust, where specific trust is trust in sort of the temporary political figures, political symbols, what's going on in politics at that moment, where diffuse trust is really this broader trust in systems and in institutions. And for black, over time, we've shown we know that diffuse trust is always relatively low compared to other groups, just because of the history of discrimination and oppression that black folk have lived through. And so it's always been a struggle to get that level of diffuse trust up. However, our research and other research suggests that trust can be built, specific and diffuse trust, through representation that looks like the community and through substantive policy gains. However, it's going to be very difficult to get that type of representation and to achieve policy gains for the black community with turnout not at historic rates, at these levels that we're talking about, right? And so that's why we continue to push forward. Well, if long-term we really want to build trust, we have to understand that there needs to be a very committed campaign to turning out black voters that's looking at new and unique strategies to do so, especially after the Obama era, because the only way that we're going to regain this trust in the system and sort of rebuild allegiance to a system that many black folks see as oppositional is by showing them that they can win races, they can be represented by people that they believe in, that they look like, and those people can then turn around and pass policy, create legislation that substantively benefits them in the long haul. And so, that's kind of our short and long when it comes to trust and alienation. But we absolutely agree this is a central issue to black politics and something that we've been researching for a while.
Michael.
Hey, Dr. Chris, thanks for coming on today. I've been to your website. You have a lot of good information there. We just spoke with Cliff Albright from Black Voters Matter. A couple of weeks ago, we had Omari Hosang on from Black Voters Matter in Louisiana. How can we create and increase a Black political infrastructure that can message to African Americans, educate us politically, educate us on the issues, the policies, and help turn out the African American vote? I do agree that the Democratic Party has to do a better job of messaging, but at the same time, I think this is about self-preservation for African Americans, and I think we have to take more control of our own destiny, and I don't think we can rely on the Democratic Party. We can use them as a tool, but can't look at them as a savior. How can we create a greater Black political infrastructure?
I think that's a great question, and something that clearly we've been struggling with for decades now, how to create some sort of infrastructure that's self-sufficient and that doesn't rely on the Democratic Party or any party, therefore, to win elections or to pass legislation. To me, the first step is education, and to really civic education and an understanding of politics and the importance of politics in people's lives. From our focus groups, from our research, we found that most people see politics as a periphery issue, and that there's things such as paying rent, getting to work, getting their kids to school, dealing with healthcare issues, right, that they don't necessarily see as inherently political, but more as everyday survival issues that take up most of their attention. And so in order to move towards a system of infrastructure within the Black community where we have sort of community level support, individual level support that doesn't rely upon these political parties, we have to continue to find ways to educate people and to push people into a politicization that in which they believe that politics is just an essential part of the house that they're dealing with. We kind of have unique tools that have come about in the last 5 or 10 years, right? We have social media now and ways to telecommunicate with people that we've never had before. And so I think we need to continue to experiment with these and find creative ways to use the limited funding that many of our community organizations have to reach as many people as possible and sort of inform them of the importance of politics and building networks and building channels and organizations that bring people together with an understanding that politics needs to something that they consider as an important element of their everyday life, and it's intertwined with everything they do. But again, this is not like I'm trying to be careful here and not talk about it as something simple, right? That we should have done already. It's a very, very difficult hill to climb, and it's probably going to take a sort of nationwide organization to do it. And we've seen a little bit of that, right, in the wake of Trayvon Martin and some of the police killings over the last decade, the way that social media and the internet and some of these new technologies can be used to mobilize people, but there's still a gap between getting the information to people and actually building that infrastructure, right? Infrastructure similar to what we see maybe in a civil rights movement, right, where it was necessary to go door to door and to talk to people. And so we kind of have to rely upon some of these old tactics of bringing people together, along with possibly using some of the new technology we have. But again, it's a really great question and another tough answer, right? None of these are easy questions.
Well, before I go to Omakongo, I'm going to speak to that, and this is what is going to have to take. It is, and again, let me be very clear. We're going to have to sit here, and we're going to go back to the other shot. We're going to sit here and be very clear. We have to actually put a number to it and get Black folks to understand that this shit ain't free. Let me say it. Let me say this again for all the folk who are watching, listening. The shit ain't free. The work ain't free. And so the work that Christopher's doing, the work that Cliff Albright and Black Voters Matter and Latasha Brown, the work that Georgia Stand Up, all these different groups, the work that this stuff ain't free. And so it's a lot of people who spend their time out there talking about we need this and we need that and we need this and we should be doing that and we should be doing this here. And I'm sure Christopher, he hears all this sort of stuff. And then you're sitting there going, okay, but are you putting your money where your mouth is?
And so that is what it takes. I have said to folks on this show, hey, stop sending money to candidates and the parties and sending to third-party groups, because you know the money's going to get on the ground what is actually needed. Because I'm going to say it again, and this is the problem. And we're going to talk about it in our next segment. Christopher, you know this here. These white consultants, they want to dump everything on television. Bring up Christopher, y'all. Come on, please. They want to dump everything on television. They want to keep putting everything on television, and it reaches a point where you have total saturation. And the reality is people are like, man, turn that crap off. Turn it off. Turn it off. You have to put money on the ground. You have to look at the numbers and then go, okay, and as your research shows, okay, in this particular state, in this region of the state, inside of this region of the state, this is what this city and town did. And now that I'm breaking down the city and town, now I'm breaking down the precincts in that city and town. So now it's, okay, this precinct here had 1,000 eligible voters, but only 120 actually voted. Okay, target people and resources to knock on those doors to at least get that number from 120 up to 500. And now target this precinct and this precinct and this precinct. One, that requires money. That requires people. And if you don't have that, then you're stuck hoping a campaign comes around to do it.
And from what we've known, campaigns aren't doing that, right?
Precisely.
The most successful campaigns we've seen turning out black folks since the Obama era have been state, regional, or local campaigns, such as the Black Voter Matters, such as the campaigns in Georgia that are doing it sort of on their own, sometimes in coordination with parties, but most of the infrastructure is built over time on their own with their own resources that they've been able to gather.
Absolutely. Omokongo.
Mr. Tyler, I was really interested in your slide showing the prototype in terms of what people were interested in. And given the fact that you have Black Lives Matter as the top priority for many people that you're speaking to, are you concerned that Democrats are going to be losing serious support, even more support from the black community as it relates to Biden's stance with Israel and Gaza? Because what I'm seeing is that many black people who are in support of Palestine, or at the very least are in support of a ceasefire, and I'm concerned, as I'm also seeing from like the Arab American community, they're saying that we're just getting lip service from the administration, and though we're never going to go vote for Trump, we're so angry with what's going on right now that we just might end up staying home. And that might be a concern for the black community as well. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely a concern. So just to be clear, the experiment that I put up was juxtapositioning characteristics when it came to perspectives on Black Lives Matter. And so for us, the ideal candidate was an ally of Black Lives Matter, but this was compared to someone who did not show support or said they were not an ally of Black Lives Matter. So it doesn't necessarily say they're affiliated or anything, but their opinion on Black Lives Matter was one of the most important elements when understanding what made black respondents choose one candidate over another. And so, you know, the fact that the Democratic Party has not necessarily positioned themselves as an ally of the black community in many ways, right? But most recently, when it comes to this, the conflict in Israel and Palestine and the Middle East, it's definitely a worry and a concern that black voters will continue to lose even more enthusiasm. And now we're talking about possibly some high propensity black voters, or black voters that were planning on coming out and voting and have consistently voted are now being turned off even more. And there's absolutely a reason to believe that, you know, from our focus groups, black voters and low and high propensity black voters were already disillusioned with Democrats. They already didn't really see much in terms of policy returns from the party. They didn't recognize any individual changes in their lives since Biden had won in 2020. And so anything like this that can suggest sort of that the Democrat Party's intentions or attention is diverted somewhere else, rather than continuing to try and work for, as Roland put, the base of voters that is the most supportive of the party, can turn people off very quickly. And so, you know, you can see how conflict unfolds over the next year, possibly over the next few months. But there's absolutely the potential here for Black people in America to view Biden's sort of support of Israel as something negative for the Black community and something sort of prioritizing international affairs over what could be done for Black folk at home.
Christopher Towler, we surely appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Folks, hold tight 1 second. What is going to be done when it comes to reaching Black male voters? We'll discuss that next, right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
All right, folks. We try to kill that music, guys. Kill the music. Thank you. All right. Curl Prep Natural Hair Solutions. It's an amazing organic product, folks. Two-step curl defining system for women, men, and children. Now, look at this video here, and you can be the judge. Folks are lining up to see the product in action at various hair shows, and when they take a seat to try it, they don't believe it's actually their hair. Now, you can buy the product at curlprep.com. Again, it's curlprep, curlprep.com. It works on all types of hair. Use the code Roland, lowercase letters, of course, to get a 20% discount. It's just simply 2 steps. They have sweet butter and sweet defining gel, both at curlprep.com. And of course, parents, you can remove the ouch. Y'all know what that's all about. You will love the system because you can comb the product through your child's hair with your fingers. Seasoned Saints, they also love the product, and the line has products that are great for twists, braids, locks, weaves, even those wigs and extensions. It's all at curlprep.com. Again, use the code Roland, lowercase letters, to get a 20% discount. You won't believe it's your hair.
I'm Faraji Muhammad, live from LA. And this is The Culture. The Culture is a two-way conversation. You and me. We talk about the stories, politics, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So join our community every day at 3 p.m. Eastern and let your voice be heard. Hey, we're all in this together. So let's talk about it and see what kind of trouble we can get into. It's The Culture, weekdays at 3, only on the Black Star Network.
Me, Sherry Shepard, and you know what you're watching, Roland Martin Unfiltered.
When I was talking to Terrence Woodbury, his research last year showed that Black male voter turnout in North Carolina played a role in the Republican keeping his United States Senate seat. Yeah, that's the actual data. So part of the thing when you hear people talk about, oh, what's happening with Black male voters, is you have to understand this is not a national issue, but it also depends on critical states. We also heard the myth that Black men were not voting for Stacey Abrams. Well, after the election, the data was parsed, and that simply wasn't true. That was a fallacy that was being promoted, but it wasn't factual. So the question is, how do you also get Black men to, 1, register, 2, turn out, and then the question is, who do they vote for? Dr. Wes Bellamy is the Chair of Advocacy at 100 Black Men of America. He joins us from Charlottesville, Virginia. Wes, glad to have you here. Let's talk about that, because you heard me say earlier, you have to have different targeted strategies for different people. If Democrats are going to target Black men, you better have a specific targeting of them that's different from Black women. Wes. All right. Okay, Wes, I think your video froze there. We got your back. Go ahead.
There we go. So, one, thanks so much for having me, good brother Roland. You are one of my favorite. Actually, tell Layla to stop calling, please.
There you go. I think we unfroze. Go right ahead. Start again.
I was saying thank you so much for having me, good brother. You're one of my favorite alphas, and that's where the compliments are going to end. But in all seriousness, I appreciate you having us on today. So you're absolutely right. Specifically, when you look at the 100 Black Men of America, some of the initiatives in which we're pushing, we're unveiling our Real Men Vote 2.0 campaign, in which across our 107 chapters across the country, we are looking to register every single brother that is in the 100 Black Men of America to vote. That's over 10,000 members who we are incentivizing them to be registered to vote, but then also we're kicking off a 30-city tour, if you will, town halls, talking about the importance of brothers getting out the vote and then being educated on the issues within their localities in terms of who they should be voting for and what they should be looking for when it comes to casting their ballot. One of the things that I think that we often see is, one, just be candid, politicians and elected officials, as a former elected official, people take the Black male vote for granted. They'll only come around when election season is happening. We only see them have conversations about our issues with barbershop talks or come and talk with us brothers. And those initiatives, those ways of going and reaching brothers, they may fit for a certain segment, but they don't fit for everyone. So I agree with you. There has to be a multi-tiered and multifaceted approach, and that's what we're looking to unveil with the 100 Black Men. I also see organizations like the Black Voters Project and others looking at different strategies, also addressing and attacking the Black male vote. And I'm looking forward to not only collaborating with other entities, but us creating real, not only digital strategies, but strategies to fit a multitude of different brothers to engage us in the electoral process.
Somebody asked me, they were asking me about this, and it was a very interesting conversation because I had to lay some things out that they didn't want to necessarily deal with. Mm-hmm. And this is what I said. And I said, let me be perfectly clear. I am astute enough to understand the paternalism of the civil rights movement, of the paternalism of this country, of misogyny in this country as well. There were a lot of people who made the assumption that men were not supporting Hillary Clinton in 2016 because she was a woman. And then I had to take the folks back to the data to show Black men, the 9-point gap between Black men and Black women with Obama and Romney in 2012. I said that was 2 men who were running. And so they then were like, well, I don't quite understand. I said, well, I'll give you an example. When Doug Jones won the special election in Alabama, every story, the entire storyline, Black women elect Doug Jones. And it was at 96%. But 92% of Black men supported Doug Jones. And what I have heard from a lot of Black men is that all they've heard is Black girl magic, Black girl magic, Black girl magic, Black girl magic, as if Black men are also not voting. Now, are Black women voting at a high rate? Yes. But that refrain is a turnoff to some Black men who feel as if they are deemed irrelevant. Your thoughts?
No, I would agree with you wholeheartedly, but I also would encourage our brothers to understand that we can't have our feelings hurt so easily when it comes to who's quote unquote getting the credit for saving the democracy. We have to do what we have to do regardless of who's being lauded for your voting here or the higher percentage turnout. But I also would encourage Democratic pundits, Democratic analysts and so forth to put more resources into ensuring that Black males, one, are not only registered to vote, but also that they feel appreciated in their vote. So, I mean, 2 things can be true. Brothers can't be so sensitive when it comes to who's getting the credit for electing whom, but also there needs to be efforts and mechanisms made to ensure that we feel appreciated and valued when we do go out and vote.
But I agree, and I absolutely agree with that, but perception does become reality. And we have to contend with this reality as well, and that is when we're talking about what they're hearing. And let's talk about the Biden administration. Oftentimes, Biden talks about, I said I was going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court, and I did. Absolutely right. Should have happened. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Obama should have appointed a sister when he chose Merrick Garland. I was very clear on that. Biden talks about putting more black women on the appellate courts than all presidents combined. But one of the things that I've said to the Biden administration, you don't have a prominent black male surrogate.
Yes.
And I'm like, when I look, and again, I'm just being very clear. When I look at who was head of the OMB, a sister, look at the vice president, sister, and let me be real clear. I'm not knocking any of that. But what I am saying, if you're the Biden-Harris administration and you're trying to reach black men, who are they sending out who's a brother who can talk to brothers?
Well, I'm not here to cape.
No. Follow me.
Let me answer the question.
Right. I'm not caping for any party, but I'm giving an example of how campaigns and candidates need to understand your messengers are kind of important when you're trying to reach certain groups.
Yeah, and I think the Biden administration would say when they send out a brother like the former mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, Mayor Steve Benjamin, who's the head of African American engagement, when they would send out someone like Vince Evans, who's over helping assist with the CBC and whatnot, they would, in my personal estimation, would say those are the persons who they're sending out to the black male community and saying you need to be engaged in some regard, the Antoine C. Wrights of the world and so forth. Now, is that enough? Absolutely not. And you know, just like I know, there needs to be more resources, not only poured into advocating for black males to be engaged in the voting process, but courting black males to stay engaged and being educated on why they need to be voting and or supporting the Biden administration if they so choose to. Here's another thing, though, I think we have to be candid about. There are a ton of misinformation programs and initiatives that are
absolutely.
And I cannot tell you how often I serve as the Housing Authority chairman of the Housing Authority Board where I live here in Charlottesville. I can't tell you how often when I'm in particular communities, how much misinformation is shared and how often I hear brothers now saying, you know, maybe I should take a look at the other side because they're supporting us in some regard because of some misinformation in which they've heard.
Yep.
So yes, there has to be resources, as you often allude to, being placed to specifically court, as my grandmother would say, the black male vote. But I think collectively, black folk as a whole need not be taken for granted. And that's where you see organizations like the 100 Black Men and others, the Urban League, NAACP, some of your legacy organizations, also new organizations like, again, Black Youth Vote, Black Voters Matter, and so forth, putting in the work on the ground to ensure that our brothers are educated so that they can make a decision that best suits them.
And again, I'm a firm believer that misinformation is able to take hold when you have an absence of counter information.
Yes.
So yet we have to recognize that that is real. And Russia was very keen on spreading misinformation, specifically targeting black people and black men in 2020. Questions from the panel on Congo, you first.
It's great to talk to you, Dr. Bellamy. I'm a big supporter of your work. I have a question relating to the hip-hop community. One of my concerns as it relates to the black male vote is that I'm starting to see more rappers coming out in support of Trump. I'm looking at Kivo, Waka Flocka Flame, Kodak Black, Sexy Red, and one of my concerns is that these are some of the people that are going to be driving away some of the youth vote, particularly in our community, which also ties into the last segment. And on the same side, I'm not hearing enough from members of the hip hop community that who are anti-Trump. What are your thoughts as it relates to outreach, as it relates to the hip hop community?
Well, I actually posted about this on my Instagram page a couple weeks ago, and I think it's something for us to pay a great deal of attention to. Sexy Red, as you alluded to, came out and stated that, well, yeah, in the hood, people love Trump. Yeah, we love Trump. We're riding with Trump. Trump sent us those checks. You heard a rapper like Lil Durk say in his record, his smash hit All My Life with J. Cole, say people talk about those stimulus, but they really came through in the trenches. And a lot of folks, due to misinformation and not understanding that Congress, not the person 45, actually disseminated and sent the checks to the American people during the times of COVID. And because individuals aren't educated on how this process works and how resources and stimulus resources, if you will, are actually put in the hands of our communities, because by and large, the Democratic Party doesn't do a good enough job of educating people on the ground or empowering or resourcing those who are on the ground to educate folks, then again, you have misinformation that's spread. So when it comes to the hip hop community as a whole, one, I don't think it's fair, quote unquote, not saying this is what you're saying, but I don't think it's fair for us to say that we should be looking for rappers and entertainers to politically educate us, although they do have a voice. I would say that you have individuals like Jeezy, you have individuals like Jay-Z, you have individuals like Method Man and so forth, who have been vocal about the need for us to be on the front lines and voting with our brains and not just the misinformation that we're receiving on social media. So there is some combating it, but we all know that on social media and the like, when a rapper or entertainer says that they're riding with Trump, that's going to drive their views through the roof. When you have someone like Kodak Black, who, shout out to Yak, and, there's a lot of young folk who listen to his music, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be voting for him. And I say this all the time in Charlottesville. If someone like Kodak Black has more influence on the young people from a political standpoint than I do, a person who's been elected, a person who's been on the ground, who's interacting with my people on a day-to-day basis, if Kodak has more influence on the ground than me, that means that we're doing something wrong. Our young folks shouldn't be looking to entertainers for their political influence. We need to be more engaged on the ground to ensure that our people are educated to make the best decision.
Well, and let me also, but part of the issue is also Democrats got to learn how to take credit for shit. So what Democrats should be saying is, hold up, we control the House. You ain't getting none of them checks without us. Trump may have put his name on there, but we were the ones who you got them checks because of us. Just like I keep trying to tell all these people, oh, Trump let black men out of jail. Ain't no first step unless it gets passed by the Democratic controlled House, and that effort was being led by Congressman Hakeem Jeffries.
Right, exactly.
Those are facts. Matt?
Yeah, Dr. Bellamy, thanks for joining us tonight. I mean, it seems to me the reality of it is if there's no price to pay for not reaching out to black men, then there will be no reach out to black men. So my question to you is, what have you seen as points of leverage or fulcrums, if you will, to make not only the Democratic Party, but just the larger system care about black men being involved at all? And I can't imagine that they do. But to me, it seems like you respond to fear more than you do anything else. And if you're afraid that leaving us out is going to culminate in you losing elections, then that's where it seems the response would be. What are your thoughts in that respect?
Well, I think that you're absolutely right. I mean, I think many parties and larger institutions who believe in which their leading voter engagement initiatives try to lead with fear. But I think it's more important, just my personal opinion, it's more important for us to lead with education. It's more important for a certain population of people to lead with empathy and showing them how the decisions that you make today have an impact on tomorrow. There's important for certain initiatives and for different populations to be led with whatever it takes to tap into what it is and the things in which they care about. But for me personally, I think that it's of the utmost importance for us to educate our brothers specifically on how important it is for us to vote on the local and state level first.
Yep.
When we can show them, when you go and vote for me in this local election, I can then help you specifically go and do this. When we make that connection, then we see a higher level of engagement. But the thing is, that requires work, not talking. That's not a panelist discussion. That's not something that you just do on social media. That requires you to go into our communities and talk to our people. And that's where I'm hoping that there will be more resources poured into us getting onto the ground to educate our brothers with other brothers who know better about why you have to be tapped in locally, because that's where everything starts.
Yep. Exactly. Michael?
Hey, Dr. Wes Bellamy, this is a great conversation. I was talking to a friend of mine, Keith Williams, who's chairman of the Michigan Black Democratic Caucus. And he was talking about how he was talking to African-American men in the neighborhoods here in the city of Detroit. And some of them said they were going to support Donald Trump because they want to own their own businesses. And they see they are under this illusion that if Trump is president, somehow he's going to help them own their own business. Can you dispel that myth and talk about efforts that the Biden-Harris administration have made to help African-American entrepreneurs and African-American male entrepreneurs?
Well, sure. One, again, I'm not a surrogate, nor am I a representative for the Biden-Harris administration. Let me be clear. But I do think that there are a few things that we all can point to, or excuse me, that the administration can point to, in which that they've done to support Black males as well as Black folk as a whole on an economic and a business perspective. When you look at the amount of money, there literally have been hundreds of millions of dollars poured into different communities from this administration to support not only minority business initiatives, but MBE. I don't want to call them, well, I'm just not going to go there. There are different initiatives that have been placed from the administration to states to be able to get these monies funneled into different communities. But here's where I think the problem lies. Brothers don't know about the resources that are available. And why don't they know about the resources that are available? Because, as Roland alluded to, Democrats as a whole don't do a good enough job of talking about, one, here are the things that are here for you. And secondly, they do a very horrible job of this is what I have already done. So if people don't know what's out there and they don't know what you've done thus far, then of course they're going to believe any slim back with a red face and blonde hair that's been bleached to oblivion when he says that, yeah, I've done this for you and you don't have anything to lose because I'm rich. Like, unfortunately, misinformation and hot takes, they land with a lot of communities who don't have information. So, again, the Biden-Harris administration, as Brother Roland alluded to, they have to do a better job of communicating not only what's out there, but the resources that are available to you. And that is only done on the ground by dealing and working with people on a day-to-day basis. You're in Detroit. I look at folks like New Era and the brother Big Zeke, who's been going around community to community and ensuring that these communities are safe, walking around with brothers who are armed and his colleagues, if you will, to say that we're going to stop the violence within our communities. If the Biden-Harris administration wants to be able to get on the ground, then they have to not only work with brothers like Brother Williams, and shout out to Brother Keith and Brian Banks of the world, so we all have a great time at CBC, but they got to be willing to work with the Big Zekes of the world who are in the communities, in the trenches on the day-to-day, and who are ensuring that our people are not only safe, but these are trusted voices within our community. And again, I can't emphasize enough, specifically for Black men, we're willing to trust other Black men when we know that you're not going to do us wrong, but we can see your track record of leading us not astray, but into a place of prosperity, if you will. And those people, those persons don't always receive the resources, and that's where things have to change.
Well, what I keep laying out is very simple, folks. You look at what is going to happen over the next year, not just the presidential election, U.S. Senate congressional races, but gubernatorial races and state house races. There are issues that specifically impact Black people, and I don't care what anybody says, the Republican Party, if you look at how they're trying to screw Black voters in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, I can go on and on, North Carolina, Texas, they ain't looking out for Black folks. Let's just be real clear. So this ain't, oh my God, you're loving a party. No, I'm looking at facts. Every state I just named, they specifically have been trying to disenfranchise Black voters. Every single one. Those are facts. And I dare anybody on the right to try to dispute them. Wes, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my brother. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
Yo, yo.
What the hell was that?
You know, I just had to let you know I showed you some love initially, and like I said, yo, yo, thanks for having me, good brother.
Oh, what is that? Yo, I don't know what that little yo-yo.
Here we go.
But I did say you did an okay job. That's what that means. That sign means okay. All right. All right, folks, we're going to be in Richmond on Thursday with our next town hall with the House Virginia Democrats. Want y'all to come on out. Virginia Union University, we're going to be on the yard. So I want everybody to show up to Virginia Union. We want to pack the joint out, talking about the local elections, what's happening, the state elections. And so we'll see y'all at 6 p.m. on Thursday at Virginia Union University. All right, folks, got to go to a break. We come back. More Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Be sure to join our Brain the Funk fan club. Send your check and money order. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
An angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol. We've seen
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys. This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
On the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Immigrants lured off Texas streets and shipped to places like Martha's Vineyard and Washington, D.C. Believe it or not, we've seen it all before.
You people in the North, you're so sympathetic to black people, you take them.
60 years ago, they called it the reverse freedom rides. Back then, Southern governors shipped black people north with the false promise of jobs and a better life. It's a part of a well-known playbook being brought back to life. So what's next? That's next on the Black Table, a conversation with Dr. Gerald Horne about this issue of the reverse freedom rides, right here on the Black Star Network.
Hey, it's John Murray, the executive producer of the new Sherry Shepherd Talk Show. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Anaya Burleson has been missing from her Dallas home since June 25th. The 16-year-old is 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighs 185 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information about Anaya Burleson should call the Dallas Police Department at 214-744-4444, 214-744-4444. A Pennsylvania judge reinstates all charges, including murder, against a former Philadelphia police officer who killed a man at point-blank range. Common Pleas Court Judge Lillian Ransom overturned Judge Wendy Pugh's ruling regarding the facts of Mark Dial's case, and they should be established at a trial. Dial is facing murder, manslaughter, official oppression, and 4 other charges for the August 14th shooting death of 27-year-old Eddie Irizarry during a traffic stop. Dial's lawyers say he could have feared for his life because he thought Irizarry had a gun. They also say the murder charges require the presence of malice, and there is not enough proof that Dial acted maliciously. Well, okay, that's what they always say. A Georgia man was arrested for making racially motivated threats and shooting at his black neighbor. According to court documents, Mark Wheeler, 73 years old, fired a .22 caliber revolver in the direction of the victim and the victim's dwelling while yelling racial slurs. Wheeler is accused of violating the Fair Housing Act's criminal provision banning force or threat of force to intimidate or interfere with housing rights based on race. He was also charged with unlawful firearm use while committing that civil rights violation. If convicted, he faces a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine for both the civil rights and firearm charges. A federal district court judge will determine after any sentence after considering the U.S. sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors. Three former Mississippi Department of Corrections officers have been sentenced for using excessive force against an inmate. Jessica Hill and LaToya Richardson, along with case manager Nicole Moore, pled guilty to the July 11, 2019 incident that happened at the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility, where the trio assaulted a defenseless inmate while she was in the fetal position. Hill was sentenced to 3 years and 1 month in prison, 2 years of supervised release, and a $1,500 fine. Richardson was sentenced to 3 years and 1 month in prison, 2 years of supervised release, and a $1,500 fine. Moore was sentenced to 2 years in prison, 2 years of supervised release, and a $1,500 fine. Boy, that must be something there, Matt, for you to be prison guards, now your ass in prison.
Yeah, that is something. And I have a case that I'm going to be trying in Houston, actually, in April. That's not exactly this set of facts, but it revolves around the same issue about inmates' treatment by prison guards. And it's tragic what happens in a lot of prisons and how often it goes unaccounted for. So I'm glad that here the Department of Justice, again, knocked it out of the park and holding people accountable, because, you know, the 8th Amendment to the Constitution says no cruel and unusual punishment. And very often people think that, you know, inmates don't have rights. So this is good, because when people go to prison, they are still people who are still deserving of protection, irrespective of what put them in prison, right? So I'm glad that the Department of Justice here held these women accountable, because them attacking an inmate is not only unconscionable, but it's especially unconscionable when the person is not fighting back, when you're in the fetal position. So it's important that they continue to hold people like this to task, and I'm glad that they did.
I swear, I can't tell you how many times we keep seeing the DOJ do this, Makongo, and White House. Y'all might want to take credit for this stuff.
Yo, I mean, they can't just keep having these little press releases on, like, you know, X or Twitter and these little websites that nobody's reading, because this is another major victory. I mean, just when you talked about a couple of days ago with the whole redlining decision as well, this Justice Department has been very, you know, we always feel like they move too slowly, but when they strike and they strike hard. And this is also very important, because the only time outside of the Black Star Network, which is why I'm so thankful for the Black Star Network, the only time we've heard about terrible conditions in prisons and what's happening with inmates is when Trump and his minions started to turn themselves in Georgia. And they barely talked about the conditions there on a regular basis. Every single day in our prisons, our people are suffering. In situations like this, they're dying in prison, being eaten alive by bugs. And we can't just act like this stuff isn't happening. And so I appreciate the fact that the Justice Department is going at it. We need to publicize this more, because these prison guards, they should start being on notice, if they haven't been already, that this Justice Department, they may move slowly, but eventually they are going to get you.
Michael?
Yeah, Roland. Once again, this is another win for the Department of Justice and Kristen Clarke as well. They have to be more vocal and inform people about the win, especially the African-American community. The lives of people in prison, they do have rights there. You are in the you are still supposed to be protected even in prison, and you should definitely not be abused by prison guards. So once again, this is them holding people accountable, and I would not want to be those prison guards either.
Hell no. But they about to learn what it feels like. Gentlemen, I appreciate y'all joining us today's show. Matt, Makongo, Michael, thank you so very much. Folks, last weekend, I was in Atlanta, had a couple of events there. And last Saturday, I decided to stop by the homecoming at Clark Atlanta University. We had a good time there. Guys, what are y'all doing? The video, what are you doing? Thank you. Started from the beginning. All right, so had a good time there. So just want to give y'all a sense of what it was like strolling through the homecoming at Clark Atlanta. Check this out. Y'all good? What's happening? What's up, bro? You good? How you doing? All good? Hey, how you doing? Absolutely. What's up, bro? Give it a wheel. All day. Sorry, bro, what's happening? Yep. What's up? What's up? What's up, Frank? Y'all good? What's up, Frank? Y'all good? Hey! I've been you for years, bro. Come on, baby. I appreciate it. What's up, bro? Hey! There you go. Hi! Hi! Yuck! What's up? All right. Bringing your dog to the game.
First off, my son is the quarterback. I'm a music artist, Shay Nicole, and her name is Hollywood. Thank you, sir.
Really, your dog is named Hollywood?
My dog's name is
Pass
Hollywood.
incomplete.
How you gonna bring your dog to the game?
Joseph Douglas, the intended receiver on the play.
She's the mascot. That's a dog.
Gives the ball to Central State. First down
That's
to 10.
a dog.
Well, this is my dog.
You bougie black people, y'all just look at dogs belong outside.
Wouldn't have it no other way, baby. She go to every game. Ain't never miss a game.
Oh Lord. What up? Who's over here? Who's over here? What's up, bro? What up, what up, what up? Let's get this picture, Brad. What up? What's happening? What up? What up? What's up? What's up? Where we go? What's up?
Y'all look great, baby. Y'all look great.
Think about us. I think about the way we love, the way that you make me sweat. Make me want a cigarette, and I ain't no smoking chick, but you got me wanting this. Don't stop. So let me tell you something. Imagine when it's compromised, stomach muscles getting tight, skin so wet my fingers.
Get it. You ain't never been to HBC Homecoming. Welcome to the vibe.
I'm about to head to my business days. Make sure you handle me too.
Sing it. Y'all sing it.
What's up, Doc? You good?
Yes, sir.
Nah, so it's this. It's this right here.
How you doing, my
What's
man?
going on? Y'all good?
Yeah, man.
What's up, bro? I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Huh? Hey, what's up?
You gonna go to the Apple tent?
I did.
Hey, fine, nigga. 15 years, man.
Hey. All right. There you go.
Let's go. Apple pie tent, man.
You said no?
Yeah, I said yeah.
Oh, we take a picture with you, though.
All right.
There you go, man.
Hello, Roland. Happy homecoming. Happy homecoming. CA is finest. Yeah, we're in the house.
What's happening?
Hey. Like Atlanta.
Really? She over here saying, she said, hey, she forgot my name.
Yeah, you heard me.
I hear everything. It's Roland Martin.
Roland Martin. I know.
Yes. I hear everything.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Can you come to the alumni tent for me, please?
What?
The alumni tent. The alumni
All right, come on. Come on. All right, come on. Come on. Come on.
My God.
What's up, bro?
Where's Lori? Introversa. RVP of alumni engagement is here.
What y'all?
How are you?
What's happening? What's happening?
Happy homecoming, Clark Atlanta University. Alumni, what's up?
What up? What up? What up? What up? Get off your phone. What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You good? What's happening? What's going on?
I want to. Happy homecoming.
What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? There you go.
Roland, what's up? Hold on, man. Let me get a picture with you. Let me get a picture with you, Roland. Hold on.
All right, come on.
Come on, hold on.
CAU, this is
This is the look of a Southern. Now y'all know Alpha's y'all daddy. Y'all know when y'all see an Alpha, kiss the ring. Kiss the ring.
A strange daddy.
What's up, bro? Kiss the ring.
You wanna be a role model.
I'm coming around. What's up, bro?
The whole day.
What up? How you doing? Y'all good? Hold on, wait. Hold on. Let's do this.
Right there.
What's up?
Appreciate all you do, brother.
Appreciate
Keep doing what you do, good brother.
One
picture friend.
Come on. Huh?
How you doing?
What's up?
What's up, brother?
What's happening? How you doing?
Former state representative Pam Stanley.
All right.
Let's find out where we're gonna get together.
Roland. Hey, what's up?
So
What's up?
And it's gonna do
What's
it.
happening?
I need a picture of you. Roland Martin live on YouTube, all platforms. Check him out. I look at him every day, even when I'm driving the tractor trailer, because we ain't got enough drivers. That's what they say.
You back with that dog? You back with that dog?
That dog is always here, baby. Say, hey, Hollywood. Hollywood, baby.
That's a doggone shame. That's a doggone shame.
She's never missed a game, I think.
Go home.
Come on, team. Get the hell out of the tent, right? I'm trying to get through. If you're not on the football team, you need to exit the tent right now. Football players only right now.
No, we regulate.
I appreciate what you're doing, man.
That's what we do. All right, now y'all know when y'all see an alpha, bow down. When y'all see an alpha, bow down. Huh? Huh? Y'all know who the king is. Y'all know. Remember when y'all see us, kiss the ring. You know Atlanta's an alpha city. That's why it starts with an A. Say what? Oh Lord, here y'all go. Here y'all go. Oh. Remember, Alpha's your daddy. Alpha's your daddy. Alpha's y'all daddy too. Alpha's y'all daddy too. Hey, hey. What's happening?
Oh my God.
That's the OK sign or something?
HBC Alum is in the building.
That's better.
Did you remember it was Roland Martin? Roland Martin. It's Roland Martin. What is
I told you don't drop it. Every drop will make the show. I know you got Eddie. I know you got Eddie. No, I don't. I know you got Eddie. No, I don't. You need to show the best thing. I'm gonna show all of it. Hey, what's happening? What's up? What's up? Y'all good? What's up, Fred? Why you ain't at the bros tent? Huh? You ain't at the bros tent? I did. I went over there. What up? What up, bro? What up? All right. What you want to do? That's how I know your mama young. You all know this, that's how I know your mama young too. I see you. Sing it.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Oh, baby.
I don't want to leave you on top of the house. I need you to come down here for me now. She only claiming she rocking with boss, but for me to take back the outfit she unite. She only pick up with I need you to dance. Oh, I want to see you right now. You ain't the one right now. You ain't the one. I don't think so.
Everybody, just I said just. It's the same feeling I always seem to get around. It's not mistaken, I'm feeling taken by the simple feeling It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. All the campers on the field. I'm ready, so I got you. Girl, I must know you. I see something strange in my mind. Oh, wait. Per usual. Alright, the PD, they shut us down. CAU shut us down. So, but listen, after party at Hot Dog Factory tomorrow, Whiskey Mistress, runcau.com. Check out Run the, yeah, just talk to the police. Whoever has that drone, come see me. I need that footage.
Alright. Come here, Roland. We gotta get you in. We love you, Roland. We love you. Oh, there you go. You get our family. Always. Love, love, love. Love, love. Handle your business. Handle your business.
Legend.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's going on, brother? You good?
I'm good.
Good,
we
good.
Here to see you homecoming. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Roland, you've been doing it for the culture. We appreciate you.
What's happening? What's happening? All good? All right. Absolutely. All right. Holla.
In the morning, the radio show? Yeah. Hey, baby. Because you ain't around, baby. My whole world's
What's up? What's up?
They was on the promenade earlier.
Really?
Yeah. Respectfully, so was homecoming. I'm dead serious. From the Bronx, New York, you heard? Coretta Jade, you heard?
Excuse me.
Hey, how you doing?
What's happening? What's up, what's up?
I was driving around like.
Excuse me.
Hey,
what's
what's
up?
going on, Fred?
What's up? What's up?
What it do, man?
What's happening? What's happening?
Roland Martin?
Yep.
I'm a bro.
What's happening? I'm good.
We started the foundation.
Y'all starting the foundation?
We did.
Oh, started.
We were featured in Essence this morning.
Huh?
We were featured in Essence magazine this morning.
First of all, you gotta say the name of baby.
My name is Marquita Thompson. I graduated from Parkland University class of 2005. We started a Making a Way Foundation so that we can give money to the university. We need 1,000 subscribers at $25 a month, which is $300 annually. If we get the 1,000 subscribers, that's $300,000 a year that is earmarked specifically to GAP scholarships.
You want to tell people where to go?
Making a Way Foundation. You have to scan a QR code that's on your button.
You know the website?
Absolutely, makingawayfoundation.com.
Hold up, you gotta say that. Say it again.
Makingawayfoundation.com.
All right.
Thank you. Want to come?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, what's happening? What's going on?
Oh, wait.
Hey, hey. What's up?
Take a picture of the front.
Hello, Mr. Martin. How are you doing
What's
today?
happening?
We're doing well.
Good. Enjoying homecoming?
Absolutely. Happy homecoming. It's my senior year. Happy homecoming.
So y'all just gonna jump in front of them while they talking now.
Yes. CAU 21 checking in. CAU 22. Happy homecoming. We love that you're here. Okay. Yeah, shout out Roland Martin. Shout out Roland Martin. Okay. Yes. A person of the people.
You don't know who Roland Martin is, girl.
Don't say that.
Y'all, that's what she just told me.
Roland Martin.
You just told me, girl. Let her know.
The man himself.
Let her know.
He showed on our promenade.
Let her know.
Act like you know at least. I do. I remember him.
Broadcast my show from here.
From here. Don't do
Decide to come by your homecoming today.
Cut the camera.
No. She said cut the camera. I own the camera. I own my show. I own my network. Do this here. Pull your little phone out. Pull your phone out. You need to type in your little notes section. Google Roland Martin. You need to go to my YouTube channel.
Are you Roland Martin? An icon.
Yes.
Shut up. Shut up.
How's she gonna say? You didn't hear them talking about?
Don't embarrass me. Come on now, pretend like you know at least. I know.
This-
I know. If I don't know, I know now.
And this gonna make the show.
She gonna be on the show. She gonna be on the show now. She gonna be on the show now. Oh, she on the show. Now she know. Now she know. And everybody call me this. Everybody call me this.
You got that? I got you. Turn around. Turn around.
So you know, everybody call me this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
I'm sorry.
Lord have mercy.
I'm sorry.
She hilarious.
It's no disrespect.
No, it's all good.
I know who you are
It was
now.
great. Well, you gonna make the show.
I heard about you, so I know you know.
What you got? What you doing?
I'm having a great time. It's homecoming. We're seniors. We're finna graduate. We're finna graduate.
Let her know, dog. Let her know.
Roland Martin, big fan. 06 to the good brothers.
I know now. I know now.
It's all good, but you gonna be on the show.
No.
So tell everybody your name.
You made it.
Own it. Tell everybody your name.
My name is Serena.
Serena, where you from?
Douglasville.
Huh?
Douglasville.
All right, Serena, you're gonna be on the Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. What's happening? What's happening?
Can I take a picture with you?
What's going on?
Is it okay if I take a picture?
No. Yeah, come on.
Happy homecoming. Yes, happy homecoming. C.A.
What up? What up?
Hey. Oh my God.
What was that lady? What was her name?
what was her name? That lady that worked there?
I remember. Yes, welcome to Clark, Atlanta. The illustrious, the all matriculated class of 08. Class of 08, say what's up. We on the morning show.
She was like, well, I mean, I'm not involved.
I'm a Phillies fan. Take that jersey off.
Go Stros!
Hey, Mr. Martin, take that off,
Go
man.
Stros!
Phillies.
I'm sorry. This is the world champion jersey.
Go Stros!
I know, and y'all beat us.
Not the runner-up jersey.
I
Go
know.
Stros! H-Down!
Y'all better focus on Arizona.
I know. They giving us all.
What's happening?
How are you?
How was homecoming?
Homecoming was
What is your Renaissance shoes?
fabulous.
How was it?
Fabulous.
Hold on, let me get in here.
Renaissance
Is this a video?
How was
or-
homecoming?
Yes, it's a video. Okay, you might want to say something.
How was homecoming?
I mean, you just walking up.
Praise the Lord.
How was homecoming?
Really? That was how homecoming was? Praise the Lord.
Homecoming was amazing.
Can y'all?
Homecoming was beyond. I don't know what to say. I just know homecoming was
She don't know what to say. Okay.
Homecoming was beyond. I enjoyed myself. Did you enjoy yourself?
I didn't go here, but everyone was so warm, and they listened to my lies. Like
They
when I
jamming
act like
King
I
George
wasn't-
over there. You finally had something to say? Because you were like over there just struggling. All right, y'all. So this woman here talking about I need to have her on the show. And she ain't even said nothing. She ain't said why. She ain't gave it no background, no nothing. Since she came, now what were you telling me? What were you?
I said that she's a former prosecutor for the biggest.
And you notice she didn't bother to give her name. She just like, all she said was, I want a photo.
Yes.
And then she says, I need to have him on, I'm a lawyer. Ain't said no name or nothing.
It's Attorney Real Deal Neal. That's my name.
Oh, that's your name.
It's John Quell.
Your mama named you Real Deal. Okay.
Huh?
Your mama named you Real Deal. What's your name?
No, it is. It's John Quell Neal.
Okay, gotcha. All right, okay. Back to what she do?
She's a former prosecutor for the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. It's the same office that we've been seeing a lot in the headlines.
Yes,
about
I'm
the Trump
aware.
yes.
I'm
okay.
aware.
All right,
I know what the Fulton County DA's office is. Oh my God.
I don't know what my audience
Really?
is. I don't know what my audience is.
Girl,
right
you
here.
talking to me?
Okay, I'm talking to. Okay.
I done had.
Hi, I'm Shari Trahan. I used to work there as well.
She's a lawyer as well.
I am a lawyer.
So what are you now, her publicist?
You see? No. I have my own firm, a personal injury firm.
Oh, you personal injury. Now what you do?
Personal injury and criminal defense.
Okay, see, you might want to lead with that as opposed to,
You didn't give me a chance.
You ain't start with your name.
It's homecoming. Why are you so intense at tailgate?
Hold up. I'm not the one who stopped me and said, oh, you need to have me on your show one day. I'm an attorney, and I'm the real deal. That's all she said. She didn't say, I handle tax law. She ain't say nothing. You broke it all down.
I did,
She didn't say nothing.
You didn't give me the opportunity. But you know what, Mr. Merck?
What?
You have a phenomenal show. I grew up watching you,
No,
and
you ain't gonna get on.
That's okay.
Don't do my girl like that now.
What? Okay, what's your name again? Because it ain't the real deal.
It's John Quell Neal.
John Quell
Attorney
Neal.
John Quell
Yeah,
Neal.
okay, all right. Okay. You done?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you done?
And I'm your sorrow, so
I'm sorry, are you done? Because,
Yes.
she ain't give no details.
I'm done. Shari Trahan signing out.
So you're done?
I'm
So the
done.
video's over?
Yeah.
Tell her thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
So you just walking around with plates? You just walk around with
That's
plates?
you homecoming to the fight.
I got these cats tucking tails in fourth quarter sales. I'm used to seeing teams drop over and overstand.
That shit going viral. Seeing you. 17 years.
Wake up! Y'all take care.
Hold on to my guy.
What's up, bro? You all good? Huh? I got my homecoming.
South Carolina State University.
What up, SC State? I did y'all commencement.
Yeah, it is.
What up?
Yeah, baby.
Hold up. There we go. All right, tell your president what's up.
Yeah, it is.
I got you.
What's going on?
What's happening? I ain't gonna get hit. You got everybody in order? All right, don't tase nobody.
Oh no, I ain't got time for nothing.
I need that.
All right, folks, so that is it from 2023 Clark Atlanta University Homecoming. It's been a blast. Let me thank the administration. Let me thank Sam for hooking me up. And so glad I was able to make it out. How y'all doing?
The best. Yeah. The best. Welcome to CAU. I was like, he definitely looks
Y'all would interrupt my video. All right, y'all. So she interrupted my video. So I was glad to be here at homecoming.
CAU.
And so you never know what university I'm just going to drive by when I feel like it. All right, y'all. Holla.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?